How you guys doing? Coming at you with another video. This is going to be a very important, hopefully not too lengthy video. I'd like to jump right into it because I'm recording this from my iPhone. It only allows me to record like 15-minute max videos from my iPhone. So I'm going to try to condense it into one video. However, if it goes into a part two to continue the video, I will do such. These two are very important topics that need to be discussed for the health of your trucking career. And it's actually originally started as, well, one video. Somebody dropped a comment and I told them I'd make a video on it, so that's what I'm going to do. But also something that my friend, she's doing as a truck driver, and I very much so cautioned her against it, and she's still doing it anyway, and how it can affect you in the long run. Also, it kind of goes hand in hand with the question that the person asked me, so I'm just going to hop right into it. So the person, the gentleman or female, I think it's a guy, asked me on one of my videos. He said, "Could you talk about your complaints and the things you like and don't like about trucking in general, the things you like and don't like about your first company that you drove for, your ex company, and the things you like and don't like about your current company." So I'm just gonna hop right into answering that. Uh, this is kind of impromptu, but it's still a lot of information that needs to be covered. So the things I dislike about the trucking industry. I'd say that I feel like my answer as a disclaimer is going to be somewhat biased and skewed, I should say, because as you guys know, I grew up in a family with a father who was and still is a truck driver. So there was a huge learning curve when I first came into it, but there's also a lot of things that people, when they don't know anything about trucking, go into it and they have to learn it the hard way. I didn't really have to go through that because I knew for probably about 90% of what I was getting into. But with that being said, I guess I can talk. I'll try to relate in a level for someone that didn't know trucking. Things you don't like as an over the road driver. The length of time you're gone from home. Obviously, nobody, you know, unless you can't stand your family and the people in your life, which that's something you need to work out between you, yourself, and God, and them. But if but for most of us, we miss our family and our friends and those that we love and cherish. Being an over the road driver, and that's just part of it. Being gone for several weeks at a time, it's very rough. The another downside of it is trying to maintain that healthy lifestyle, as far as a healthy relationship lifestyle. Whether you want to maintain a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, the relationship with your kids, your family, your friends, all that kind of stuff. It's hard to maintain that all being on the road. Another thing to consider, it's rough on your health. It's definitely rough on your health because you're pretty dormant. You do a lot of driving. Driving is probably about 75-80% of what you do. So if you choose to just be a driver and don't do anything physical, try to maintain your health on the road, you'll notice that you'll snatch on that freshman 15, so to speak, but it's more like a freshman 50 as a truck driver. You'll gain a lot of weight very fast. So it's important to try to maintain, you know, it's important to try to maintain your health out here on the road. Like I said, is some of the things I don't like. Another thing that I don't like that is at first the pay. Not say that at first because the pay is rough at the beginning. It definitely gets better if you make smart decisions, but it is rough in the beginning. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty more things that I can think about that I don't like, but I'm not one of those kind of people that sits and dwells on things I don't like. The things I do like the pay now, for sure. I definitely love the pay now. I love being able to see the country, basically getting paid to see the country. I'm not big on sights and being a sightseer and things like that, but I mean, I do think it's pretty nice to be able to, see the country and see, how vastly different it is from one city to the next, one state to the next, the people, the culture, just all of it. Just to see how we can be like one big country, but how diverse we really are. How diverse we really are, but still how similar we are in the same, and in the same facet. So I talked about the pay, seeing the diversity, some of the things I like. I like how it's job stability. You can trucking, you'll basically always have a job. Without truck drivers, the country would shut down. So if you do what you're supposed to do to maintain your record, you'll basically always have a job. So this will kind of start leading into the next part. He wanted to talk about. He also asked me what are some things I don't like about my ex company. So with Rail, a lot of people you'll find easily on YouTube and on the internet way more people bashing a company than ones talking good about it. Because it's simply put, people who don't like a company are going to always seem to be the ones that speak up, and just anything in life always seems to be the ones that speak up and have the loudest voices, and the ones that really do enjoy it, they really don't say too much about it. They just, move on about their life and enjoy it, and they may or may not leave a positive review. It just depends on how the wind blows that day for them. So I really don't have much negative to say about Rail. I loved Rail. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with them. If you guys watched like one of my earlier videos, I'm pretty sure it's like one of my first videos when I first started my channel. It's like super earlier on. I talked about how I ended up at Rail versus the other company I was looking at going to. So you'll know about how I ended up at Rail. So the things I liked about it, I felt like it was a really good family environment, a very much so family environment kind of company. We have Rail has a driver's page. I'm still on it because I still like to talk to a lot of the drivers over there that I used to, interact with. So it's not like, you go to a terminal and you might post on the driver's page, hey, I'm going to be at the Gary terminal. Let's make Channel 4 great again. And then on your CB. And you'll like pull up and then you'll get on your CB and go to Channel 4 and you can start a conversation, have like 20, 30 people all talking on it because you made that post, or that's just the common channel that everybody goes to at the terminal when you're in Gary, So you might post something like, "Hey, I'm gonna be playing a game of spades tonight in the lounge area. Who all wants to join?" And you might have like 6, 7, 8 people show up. And next thing you know, you have like a bunch of people up there just hanging out. You get to know each other. You might cross paths somewhere, and it feels like more often than not, the other driver. And for a company that size, that says something. Like more often than not, I feel like the other driver because, in some way, shape, or form, you've interacted on the driver's page, and then you might run into this person. Y'all might both be picking up at the same place, but going to different destinations. You're like, hey, I talked to you on the driver's page. We talked for a little bit. I'm such and such. It's like, oh yeah, cool. That was that. That's what that was like. I enjoy. I got really good miles at Rail. I got better miles at Rail than I did at ATS. Um, I mean, the equipment was good. Equipment was great. Very rarely broken down. Um, very rarely broken down. At least on my end. So that's some of the stuff I like. Some of the things I don't like. They baby you, but it is a beginner company, so it's what you should expect. So I got babied, even though I didn't need to be. Um, Another thing that I had to deal with is sometimes there seems to be a level of disconnect between customer service, the planners, the fleet managers, and whatnot. It seems like there's a level of communication that's just not there. So it can cause major issues at times. Sometimes it feels like you're dealing with amateur hour with the people that are on the other end of the phone, depending on who you have as who you're working with. And I think I didn't like is the way the pay was set up. I made good money at Rail, but I don't like that it's performance based. I'm sure they've made some adjustments to some changes since I've been there, because it's been over a year and a half since I've left Rail. But I don't like how basically when I was there it was performance based. I mean, which sounds good, but all the additional stuff that goes with it that can really hurt it too. Like, let's say you're on the road and you've earned 7 days of home time, and then you go use your 7 days of home time. You come back on the road and your performance level is going to drop. It just seems like it's not consistent. It seems like it's way easier for you to lose points in performance versus you can work your behind off. And it seems as if it's almost impossible to go up in performance. So yeah, that's really that. Kind of flew through his question. This is going to definitely require a part two, because I already see that I'm 11 minutes deep into this video. It's going to be a part two. That's definitely necessary. So, as far as all that, you can clearly see I've been satisfied with the jobs that I've chosen to go to so far. So, I want to talk about that job satisfaction. I think it is very imperative that you do your research before choosing a company to go start with, one. And after you've been driving for a while, depending on if you want to leave that company or not, most people do want to go somewhere else. You you do copious amounts of research on the companies out there. While you're at your company that you're with currently, take notes, have a little binder, things you like, things you don't like, things you realize that you require as a driver now that you didn't think about beforehand. Every kind of question, thing, like, dislike, all of it, write it down somewhere, because it'll help you when you're choosing your next company to go to. Find you a good mentor, somebody that's got their head on straight, that's achieved what you're trying to achieve in the trucking industry. Latch on to people who seem to be doing better than you. Once you've, like I just said, achieved what you're trying to achieve, and pick their brain, ask them questions, ask them the hard questions, ask everything, and, you know, really try to find what you want and find out what you want and what you don't want in a company. That is of the utmost importance to do that. You need to look at detention time, how they pay for your detention, how they pay for your layover. What are their layover policies? What kind of equipment are they using? Did you find out that you need to acquire a truck with an inverter or an APU, or they don't really care for that in a truck? Are you looking for a truck with a fleet that has ungoverned trucks or trucks that are governed? Are you looking for a mega carrier, or are you trying to go to a smaller what the hell? A smaller mom and pop type company? Are you looking for a fleet that's primarily Freightliners or a fleet that's primarily internationals? Are you looking for a company that's going to have you out over the road? Or are you looking for a company that's going to have you more regional, where you're home at least once a week? Home for at least a 34-hour reset, or at least a weekend. You're looking for a company that has a sliding pay scale, or a company that has a set pay scale? Are you looking for a company that has, how are they paying you? Are they paying you hub miles? Are they paying you zip code to zip code, city center to city center, address to address, air miles? Like, how are they paying you? Are you looking for a company that's babying you, or a company that doesn't have to baby you? Are you looking for a company that allows you to choose your own route and you make your own fuel plan? Or are you looking for a company that tells you exactly what you need to do on a day by day basis? Are you looking for a flatbed or van company? Uh, you know, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me, I should scratch my face with the other hand, but I didn't. So I have 16 seconds left before this video is officially going to be too long for YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short right here. I'm going to hop into part two.